White people broke the earth. White people, not all of you individually, but the systems you built, the empires you enforced, the profit you prioritized over life. You broke the earth. You didn't just show up and settle. You came with guns, greed, and God. You took land that wasn't yours, spilled blood on sacred ground, and called it destiny. You clear-cut forests, enslaved people, dug holes in the earth for gold, turned the sky into a smokestack, and renamed the destruction growth. You made the land yours by force. You made water something to sell. You made civilization mean white skin, private property, and concrete. You told the world that nature was wild, that people who honored it were savages, and that domination was salvation. And when the earth cried out, when her lungs burned and her rivers turned black, you didn't stop. You invented new ways to profit from collapse. Now you want to fix it? Now you want to lead the way? No, you are not the solution. You are the crisis. But this story doesn't end with you, because the earth is not dead, not defeated. It is wounded, but it remembers. It remembers those who loved it before you fenced it off, and mined its soul. It remembers the songs sung to rivers, the hands that planted with gratitude, the fire keepers, the medicine carriers, the people who knew the earth was not a thing, but a living relative. We remember too. We remember that your empires are fragile, that your borders are fake, that your wealth is stolen, and that your time is running out. The earth can be healed, but not by white saviors, not by carbon offsets, not by policies written in boardrooms. Healing will come through justice, through land back, through reparations, through abolition, through the return of what was stolen, and the dismantling of what never should have existed. The earth isn't dying, it's remembering, and it will only heal when white power ends. Cope.
What is it about your ancestors that makes you proud to be black?
Aside from being the forerunners of civilization, of course, they didn't go around the world plundering, colonizing, and enslaving people, just being, psychotic, bloodthirsty maniacs. Yeah, that makes me very proud, actually. I sleep soundly at night, knowing that my ancestors were not barbarians. But since we're talking about inventions here specifically, I want to ask this man, what has he personally done that would make the Africans, the black people to come, generations of black African people to come, proud to be black and African? Because you see, this man is old. He has more years behind him than he does in front of him. Any moment now, Alaye will become an ancestor. And that's why I want to know, as a soon-to-be ancestor that he is, what has he done to make sure that the Africans to come, the black people to come, would be proud to be African and black? Because here he is, basically spewing colonizer rhetoric, trying to perpetuate this historical fallacy of African people have not contributed anything, they have not done anything historical, and even till date, they are not doing anything, when we know that's a lie. There is a reason Africa is called the cradle of civilization. Things like mathematics were invented in Africa. Caesarean operation is another good example, something we see people use today globally in hospitals to help women give birth, right, was invented by Africans. But if we want to get into technology, because in his video, he, spoke about technology, mentioning cars and what these people did, what that people do. Yeah. While, yes, the technology of the ancestors from way back then was very different. Technology to them, the time that they were from, is things like axe and fishing hook. Technology now is very different. And yes, Africans or descendants of Africa, black people, right, have contributed to modern day technology. When we want to talk about things like, the automated elevator doors, it was done by Black people, African Americans to be specific. An African American invented that, right? Is it the modern day traffic light system? African Americans did that. Abe's security system, modern day security system, was done by invented by an African American woman. Even the cell phone we use today, there's an African American contribution to the invention of the cell phone. Abizi lights we want to talk about, the bulbs we use today, the invention that brings about why that is possible for us to have bulbs. African American person hands there inside. And if we want to leave that place and say, okay, let's talk about like computers and whatnot, it was a Nigerian that invented the fastest computer. It was a Ghanaian that created the algorithm, whatever, for Instagram. There is so much that Black people, African people have contributed to our modern world and civilization as a whole. If you don't know, just say you don't know. Even in our homes, there are like 30 things that you can look to that was invented by a Black man. Starting from the toilet, modern day toilet we sit on, packer, a dustpan, mop stick, so many things that these people have done, but it's just that, like, I don't know what it is. And I know what it is. We live in a white supremacist world where there is this assumption that anything we see was done by a white man. And this assumption that people just, quickly run to is, something that was basically created during colonization, because it was during that time that, they warped the way people are thinking. So people just assume that anything great that they see in this life was created by either a white person or someone that isn't Black. And that's how we continuously look over Black African contributions and feel like Black African people have not done anything. And all of this continues to play into the idea of white supremacy, because when you have a group of people who just assumes that, their people have not done anything, then people can continue to take credit for even things that they have not done, which continues to reinforce the idea of white supremacy. And I think that is the loop that this man in particular has fallen into. Because anytime I come by his video, he's always on some putting down ish, always on some looking down ish, always on some, the basically paraphrasing here, the energy he's giving, Black African people are not shit ish. He's always on that energy. That's the vibe. And to me personally, whenever I see him, I won't lie, I feel sorry for him. Because he's basically, the way I see him, right, the embodiment, living, breathing, pooping of a fully colonized African, because he can't seem to be able to think outside of the box that the colonizer has created for him. And he's just there. And unfortunately, he speaks so intelligently, because like he's educated, I think, right? He speaks so well. He knows how to, use the English language. So I think people just get mesmerized by the fact that he speaks so, should I say eloquently. He knows how to really arrange his words, and it comes off as intelligent. And this is not me saying he's an all-round unintelligent person, right? But I'm saying in this particular aspect of, history and whatever, the way he speaks about, stuff in, should I say, the political sphere, sometimes it's not coming out to me personally as, intelligently as people are taking him in the comments. And I mean this in the most respectful way possible. And what gets me about people like him being out there is that then we have so many Africans listening to him, and they're buying into this mindset again, which is them buying into colonizer rhetoric, which is, it's like he's out there basically just doing the colonizer's job. At this point, I would even say he's in a form, carrying the colonizer's water, helping the African to think how the colonizers wanted them to think. I've forgotten the name of this woman. She's a Pan-Africanist, right? She said in one of her videos, I'm going to see if I can add the video to this video, but she said in one of her videos that an educated African can be, paraphrasing here, an educated African can be, she said, the most dangerous kind of African. And I totally agree with her, because if you check it out, this, quote unquote, educated Africans, sometimes the things that you see them do, the things that you see them perpetuate, the mentality that they have sometimes, be given uneducated, but because they know how to speak, so eloquently, and so they know how to really put their words together and use the colonizers' languages so, you know, effortlessly. They know how to give this aura of I know what here they talk, right? They have a lot of people listening to them, and that's because of that, a lot of people get, you know, sent down the wrong paths, and that's how we continue to have this loop going of nonsense way of thinking, basically. And don't get me wrong, this is not me saying that, oh, we should be comfortable where we are as a people, that all what we've done in the past is okay, we can rest now. Of course not. There is so much that we can and so much we should do as a people. We have the intellect, we have the resources. There is so much that we can do, right? So, of course, we should build on the things that we have done and our people have done. We can surpass those things. The sky basically is the starting point, right? There is so much we can do. So don't get me wrong, this is not me saying that, oh, we can rest. Oh, they did all of that in the past. We've done enough. Of course not. That's not the point of the video. And I just want to make that clear, because there is so much that we can and should do. We have so much potential. We should start bringing and using those potential to uplift and create more amazing stuff. So I just want to be clear that this is not me. This video is not about saying that we've done so much that we should rest, because no, that's not the point here. The point of this video is to say these rhetorics are dangerous. These rhetorics are invalidating the achievements of not only our ancestors, but also the achievements of Africans, present day Africans, because we are doing ish. And coming out and say we are not is us invalidating not only our achievements, but our experiences, our accomplishments, and that is bad. He should stop, and people like him should stop. There's a lot of work that goes into decolonizing, deconstructing, and this is not me saying, oh, he's on the journey of deconstructing, because I don't know. No, I know, obviously, if he still speaks like that, he's not even heard of the journey decolonizing before. He's not, right? The point is, there's so much work that goes into decolonizing, and one of that work includes, you know, peeling back the onion and shedding all of the lies, being able to spot them and shed them, get rid of them, and also getting out of your brain the rhetoric of the colonizer. Yeah, that is a key component of decolonizing, and I can say for a fact right now that he's not on that journey, may never be on the journey. See, people like him, where they are, too far gone.